Well, there's a new wave of respiratory illnesses being tracked across the country. And while the headlines sound intense, the reality is a bit more nuanced. You see, health experts are keeping a close eye on how these viruses are spreading and who they impact most. In today's broadcast, I'm going to break down what actually is going on, what symptoms people may be experiencing, and why this situation is getting more attention at this very moment without all the hype. So stay tuned because there are a few key details that most people are completely missing. Now, as a quick reminder, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and share this video with everyone you know, and double check your subscription and make sure you have that all bell button checked. So what on earth am I talking about? What is this new wave of respiratory illness that is being tracked all across the country? Well, take a look at where I found it, and this is on the Daily Mail, and it's dangerous virus with no is exploding across the U.S. Now, an alarming new map reveals exactly who is at risk. A little-known respiratory virus overshadowed by the vid is spreading rapidly across the United States with major population centers on alert. Human metapneumonia virus, or HMPV, is what it's called, and they're saying that it's been spreading since 2025, with wastewater surveillance data now showing significant activity from the West Coast to the Northeast coast. During the first week of March, the virus accounted for over 5% of positive respiratory virus tests nationwide, according to the CDC. And this is the reason, by the way, what I've got highlighted there is what they're slightly worried about. But I'm going to give you a little bit more detail on it because I don't think it's anything to necessarily panic over. Now, this is up from 3.8% in the last week of February, and a notable increase that has public health officials on alert, particularly because there is no vax for it or other stuff as well. Now, despite attracting renewed public attention, HMPV is not a new pathogen. First identified by researchers in 2001, HMPV belongs in the same viral family as the respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, which causes respiratory symptoms for about a week. So it's in and along that same lines. Now, who is particularly at risk? Well, this article gets into that as well. Of course, it's your typical groups of people, right? Infants and children under 2 years old, adults over 65, and those with weak immune systems or chronic lung conditions face the greatest risk of severe HMPV. In young children, the virus can cause bronchitis and then a lower airway infection that often requires hospitalization and respiratory support. So these are some of the things that it can cause. And I'm going to get into a little bit more on that. But here's the cities that have been reported thus far that are saying that they've had a high amount. That would be the more dark orange. A medium amount would be the yellow, and then the low would be the blue. But you can absolutely see since late 2025 that this thing has been spreading there as well. So it goes on to state that the CDC notes that the symptoms include a cough, fever, nasal congestion, sore throat, shortness of breath, and basically things similar to a cold or flu. Evans said people are typically infectious for a week or up to 2 weeks after symptoms develop, and symptoms generally resolve in about 7 days. In terms of severity, HMPV most commonly causes upper respiratory illness. However, it can sometimes push past the upper respiratory symptoms to trigger more serious complications, including bronchitis, which is obviously not anything we want, or pneumonia, again, a pretty hard one, asthma attacks, or middle ear infections. HMPV generally has the same mortality rates as flu and RSV, right? So that kind of gives you an overall idea of what's going on with this. But I wanted to give you guys all the information on that so you're aware, right? In case you get sick with something, it might be something that you want to get checked out as well. So just thought I'd throw that out there for you guys. But with all of that, I'd love to get your thoughts, comments, and concerns. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.